Welcome to Cultural Conversations with the Mississippi State University Libraries. My guest today is Jennifer McGillan. Jennifer is Special Collections Coordinator of Manuscripts. Welcome.
Thank you.
Jennifer, what exactly does the Coordinator of Manuscripts do?
I manage the division of manuscripts, which means a lot of things. I supervise student workers. Occasionally I dip my toe into processing collections. I do select things to be digitized and sort of provide administrative oversight for the department. I also, when we have classes that come in, I work with the University Archivist to do the archival instruction and or as we call it, teaching with primary sources.
How many collections are in the manuscript department?
It's now over 700.
Wow, that's a lot. Well, today we've got some show and tell, and you brought a few of the treasures from the library collection. What have you got for us?
Today I have brought some of our older legal documents. These are actually pulled from 3 different manuscript collections. One of them is the North Mississippi probate records collection. Some come from the Todd A. Herring collection, and some come from the T.H. Smith Postal History collection. We're going to start actually with the old one, sort of going more or less in chronological order. The focus that I picked for today was legal documents.
Okay.
And it's not quite CSI Natchez, but they are very interesting to read. The law hadn't changed in certain ways all that much. So there are certain types of documents that I have brought over. And the first one is from the Todd A. Herring collection. And this one I brought because one of the things that I do when I'm working with students is teaching them how to recognize different kinds of documents. They can't read cursive, and so everything is a letter because they can't read it. And so sometimes I spot check them or just sort of poke my head in on what they're doing, and when I check the labels, and I'm like, wait, hold on, that's not a letter. So this is an example of one of those things that it is not a letter, and it's actually really a useful teaching tool, but it's really dramatic. And so it has what I call lots of swirl. You can see sort of at the top, very, very dramatic. Let me move my finger out of the way. Very dramatic, and that's what I can point to and say, if you see these kinds of big swirls, and you see the VS or the VS over here, and you see all these different names, and maybe you could make out the word chancery right there. Then
it's a legal document.
That's a legal document. This particular one is a Chancery Court document from Adams County, and it was a response to a legal dispute with the heirs of William Calvert, and this is from 1803. Many of our students will have not seen any kind of legal document, never mind one that's this old. So again,
this is actually before Mississippi was a state.
Yes, this is before statehood.
Territorial.
So this is something for that I can and do use as a teaching tool. All right, and then next one. These are also from the Herring collection. These are from 1805, and okay. This is a witness statement, and what the witness is describing is events that happened on a steamboat. They had been traveling down the Mississippi, and they had hired a man on in the north, and he had assured them that he had the skills required to operate and to assist them with operating the steamboat. And they got underway, and he didn't, and also he drank. And as you might expect, it did not go well. So this is a witness statement in which the person recounts the experience and describes what happened. And there's actually 3 pieces of paper in this file, all relating to this case. So if you wanted, so again, we could use this as a teaching tool to say, okay, so first of all, these things are handwritten, and you're going to have to learn to read the handwriting if you're going to do research on this.
Yeah,
but
at some point they quit teaching reading cursive.
They no longer teach cursive.
And it's caused a lot of problems in doing historical research for these young students.
But also this is sort of, I think it's a very relatable thing. Someone gets hired for a job and they say they can do it and they can't do it, and then to add to that, they're drinking on the job, and that just makes everything worse. And when you're piloting a steamboat down the Mississippi, and they're like, dodging tree trunks and whirlpools and whatnot, and someone doesn't know how to actually drive the steamboat, then you're not doing well there. Okay. All right, so then this one is also, this is I think a thing that pretty much everybody would recognize. It's a request to be let out of jury duty. This is again from Natchez from 1807, so this is again pre-statehood, but it's to the mayor's court of the city of Natchez from James Wilkins, and he is basically saying he's a school teacher and he cannot get away from his responsibilities, and he begs to be excused. But he has beautiful handwriting, which is also helpful when you're trying to teach people how to read cursive. And this is also from the Todd Herring collection.
The Herring collection is rich with documents.
Yes. Okay, so again, from the Herring collection, this is from 1818, so now we're into statehood. And what's interesting about this is it is basically a divorce petition. If I parsed everything correctly, he was asking for a writ of separation I believe on the grounds of adultery. So here is that. So this is of interest for people who are studying marriage, who are studying women's history, who are studying life on what was then the frontier, all that kind of thing. Okay, and then what do we have here? All right, so here we're gonna leave the Herring behind now, I believe, and then this is from the T.H. Smith collection. What's interesting about T.H. Smith is that he collected materials based more on the postmark than on the contents. So when we started unfolding things and reading them, then we found some really interesting material. This particular item was written from Waverly to somebody in Lenoir County, North Carolina, and it's marked Exhibit B, which suggests it may have been used in legal proceedings. So you can see that. And this was a letter, I believe it's about an overseer. He had done something wrong, or he was not doing his work appropriately. But yeah, again, this, you can see that's the front of the envelope. Down here, it would have been all.
Mr. Smith was collecting mainly the postal envelope, and everything else is lagniappe for researchers, because
exactly.
It turns out that the letters inside are as interesting or more interesting in some cases than the postal marks.
Yeah. So this is from January 1841. So we've made a big jump, but we're 20 years away from the Civil War at this point. And then here, this is from 1842. This is a letter to the probate clerk of Yallowbusha County in Coffeyville, Mississippi. It was from someone in Pontotoc. This is again from the T.H. Smith collection. You can see this person has lovely handwriting and beautiful clear paper. So he was probably doing pretty well for himself. He was writing to offer his services in transcribing documents related to the Chickasaw Purchase. So in a way, his beautiful handwriting is his job application for this position that he wanted.
Why would this paper be in such good shape?
Well, it's old. It's because it's old, and it's got higher rag content. So this is from 1842. So that's some pretty good rag content right there. And if this person was applying for a job basically as a scribe, I think he's going to pick the nice paper and the good pen and be sure to write clearly. All right, so I have last two pieces here are from the North Mississippi Probate Court records, and the first one is interesting because it specifically references the Married Women's Property Act, which was an act from let me see here. It was 1839. It says it was an act for the protection of married women. It was approved February 15th, 1839. And then there was another act entitled Preservation of Married Women, which was approved the 28th day of 1846. And so under that act, she is establishing what property is her property. So you can see that real fast here. That is also interesting for the purpose of the study of women's history, but to see what kind of property women had. And I'll do one more thing, and that is an example of just a list of property, and you can just kind of see it a little crooked. But this is what your probate document looked like in I think this is about the 1860s. So North Mississippi. And they itemized everything from the horses to the buttons.
So this is just a sampling of some of the things that we've got in the manuscript division at
Yes.
Special Collections. And so it's open for faculty, students,
General
researchers, general public, anybody that wants to come.
Yes.
They're welcome to come and call first.
Yes, or email. Call, please. We very strongly encourage you to call or email first to set up an appointment so we can be ready to meet with you or pull materials and things like that, and be ready for you to get to work when you get there.
Thank you for coming, and I'd like to thank you for watching Cultural Conversations with the Mississippi State University Libraries. Our guest has been Jennifer McGillan, Special Collections Manuscript Coordinator, and thank you, and we'll see you soon.